What's up, guys? We're here, we're back. It's the finale, the season finale of Danmachi Season 2.
It is.
We got some feels in this episode. We actually have quite a bit of comedy for the subject matter, at least. But we also have some character development. We get to see Bel change his point of view when it comes to goddesses and humans being together.
Yeah.
And also, death is a major topic in this one.
It's, death and love just goes hand to hand with this. So it has a little weird start because, the last frame you get in episode 11 is them falling in, like, the abyss where it's, or not abyss, but, sorry, wrong show. But, they fall into, like, this stream or whatever, the river bed, and it's taking them off. But, like, in this episode, it just flat out starts with, them in the village. So probably a little weird for, some show watchers, but, whatever. That's, from there on, it basically takes, some outlining of the book where they're in the village. They get a little bit of, like you said, that's looking at relationships. There is somebody in the village, the mayor, if I recall, that has had an experience that can relate to Bel. And you get a little bit of that. You get some more of the big black dragon in the three
big
quests.
Boy.
Yeah. Which we didn't talk about that in the last video. I apologize, but it really doesn't have any bearing that we know of in the future.
We're probably 2 to 3 years ahead of like where the show's going to be, and never seen that one again.
Yeah, so it still hasn't. We haven't got anything else about that, so it's whatever. It's not worth that much mention, but you get to see that. There's obviously some what would you call it? Like not fan service, but it is kind of like fan catering, I guess, because you get to see like Eyes and Hestia and like other get-ups, and it's like cute or whatever. But then you also get the like a little celebratory thing before utter sadness comes into play again.
There is one element of foreshadowing that I'll point to, and so in the town they have the scales of the dragon, and the people are like worshiping the dragon because the scales protect the village from other monsters. Mm-hmm. And Bel's like, that's interesting that it's our main quest to kill this dragon, and like the villagers are praying it because it helps save their lives. And it's like, that's a nuanced thing I need to think about. And then Eyes is looking at the scale. She's like, no, I hate monsters.
Yeah.
And that is foreshadowing for the future how there's going to be some nuance there that Eyes and Loki Familia does not have for some reason.
I didn't even think about that until you popped it up when we were watching the show. But yeah, that, like, again, this author, props to him. He does really good on like foreshadowing or like, doing setup for stuff later on. So yeah, that is definitely a standout there. There is definitely another big thing that we'll talk about towards the end of the video because that'll lead into some other news. But I don't know. I think this episode, they did handle a lot of things well. I think they handled the love aspect, the whole thing about the old man and having that kind of like word of advice to Bel. I think the pacing, just because of like them wanting to put it into 2 episodes, it does hurt it a little bit because I don't think it lets enough time to kind of like sit before you get the full effect. Maybe that's just me. I just like how I'm like a big person. Like if you're gonna like put some setup in there, the longer it takes to get to that, it makes that much more impactful. I think.
There was very little actual danger or conflict in these last 2 episodes. From what it appeared to be. Yeah,
because like not to say like Volume 8, like the source material of this arc isn't more lighthearted than the rest of the series, because it is definitely kind of like a spin-off thing. There is still like some sense of danger, some serious aspects in those overarching moments, and they really didn't take that into consideration for these last 2 episodes. Then we're talking about like life and death stuff. Obviously, there's an important serious moment with the whole goddess relationship thing. I think probably the best part of the episode though was probably seeing Bel and Hestia have their talk underneath the sky, which is totally, if you've seen the movie before seeing anything of like this part of the story, it's like she's like taking everything Artemis did. What? But so it's kind of funny. It's watching this now.
It's interesting because it is kind of like the author is like, this is what I believe like how goddesses and human interaction should be. And it's like you hear it once from Artemis and you hear it from Hestia.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hear it from the other goddesses and goddesses as well. So I don't know. But it is really cute where she's like, Belle, I'll be with you even if you're like an old man, and even if once you die, I'll find you again. That is really cute.
Yeah.
So.
And I love how, like, they kind of do it in a way where, obviously, whether or not they have romantic feelings, or obviously Hestia does, but, whether that comes to fruition or not, they do have a very strong bond, and they do care about each other. So, I when I read the book, I always took this moment as, like, this is obviously just meaning how much, like, I don't want to say companion, because she's not really a companion, but yeah, in a way, but, having that relationship that they have, just having, letting that be the defining thing that they're going to, strive to look for in each other, going in. Maybe I'm, like, wording that terribly, but, I like how they don't, like, flat out be like, oh, you want romance? Here's just romance. Yeah, they do it in an ambiguous way where it's like, you can take it how you want it,
Yeah.
Then, like, if it comes either way later on, it's not going to be, like, contradictory to anything they did before.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you'll find that if they end up covering the Lily part of things as well, and you also have some scenes with Hirheim, it doesn't feel like it's a betrayal if, like, Belle and Hestia don't get together in the end. Yeah,
and other than kind of just obviously, like, having to move very fast in this episode, there is some, like, I don't know, it's really a minor thing. It's one thing I mentioned where it's like, I dislike it, but it's not like a thing that's like, oh, I ruined the episode, or it's like, oh, like, why did they have to put that in there? It's not like that thing. It's just like a little, like, nitpick where it's like, when you're picking time for, like, a 20-minute show, it's like, it's like, they could have done, maybe spread out a scene or two instead of having that. But, like, not foreshadowing, flashbacks, that's a little, like, do we need that? Because, like, there's two flashbacks in this episode that one flashes back to the last episode, and then one flashes back to earlier in this episode. Not very needed, I don't think. You could have had a little bit more interaction with, Belle and Eyes, because there's definitely some... I think this is, like, the first time you see a bit of insight for Eyes, which, again, like, I'm not a fan of Eyes, so I don't ultimately care, but I know, like, for a story aspect, it would be really nice to have that shown in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode is... definitely shows that she's a flawed character. I think before it's always like she's the hero and the best hashtag the best.
It's really
a show that she's not in her character design itself, but her personality is also flawed.
Yeah, and it's really hard to decide really if that's. I mean, obviously, like that's part of it because there's no work done there, but a lot of it's, I think, just, mismanagement of her character, too. So, you get enough of that in the book of it being mismanaged, so I just have better hopes for, like, when, you're re-looking at this material and you're gonna, you have a chance to do it differently. So, like, because of the remix, and then not changing that aspect, that is a little bit saddening, but overall, it's still cool. They, like, we've said this, like, past three, but, they still add, like, little stuff. Like, I kind of, like, briefly, like, I wasn't thinking about it when the scene happened, but I was like, oh yeah, that happened in the book, right? Where she's, like, dancing with the children, or it's, like, the only time she's, like, happy is, like, when she's with the children, which, I feel like that's the only time I've seen, like, Eyes smile or emote in the main show. Besides maybe, I don't know, maybe she did that in the war game. I don't remember.
But it is funny in, like, the scene where the... Spoiler alert, old man dies. Everyone is, like, crying and super sad, and I'm, like, cheering up, and it's like, oh yeah, they didn't show Eyes, because she's not crying right now. She's probably just like, whatever.
They had to leave her out of that scene completely.
Yeah, it's like, we can't see Eyes crying. I can't picture that.
I can't. No, I can't literally have that.
And the only way is when her parents are dying in the flashback. That's the only time she can cry.
Yeah. So, like, as an episode... Not bad. There's definitely a lot of good highlights when it comes to, like, some of the stuff they needed to touch on. For me, though, I'll be honest, it is a little lackluster as a finale, but it's still fine. I think, you get a lot of, epic or conflict in this, in this season. So having it in on, like, a lighthearted note, that's not, like, a diss at all. I would have expected that anyway. If they would have, done the full route of Volume 8, I think it was just, how they tackled it was a little weird. But
Do get a mystery character.
We do, and I don't know if we'll drop. Should we drop the name? I mean, I'm pretty sure people know, but like, probably favorite Monster Girl is here.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard for you because I know you said you like the. Well, never mind. We're gonna get to like spoiler stuff, but anyway, you get to see this new character come out of the dungeon.
Really excited based on how they did book 7 and book 6. I mean, we definitely have some things that I don't like about it, but I am excited for how they're going to adapt this next arc, especially because you have some conflict in here that may surprise those who are anime only watchers.
Yeah, well, because this is like where we get so much payoff of like stuff that was set up.
And some sad moments.
There's some sad. Okay, I think this would be a perfect time to segue into some news here, which I know you clicked on the video for like a freaking episode video, but we got some news here that season 3 of Danmachi has been announced, as well as the OVA. So the OVA is coming out January 29th, if I recall, next year. And then we are also getting the 3rd season summer. So it's not really, there's no date, but summer. Yeah, May, June of next year for season 3, which I am super excited that they decided to give us that news now. So
yeah,
you don't have to wait.
They may like have a new movie in the works or something.
Yeah, they've said that they've been interested in doing that. So like what that means is obviously that character's gonna mean something. So if you guys are in the dark, like you're gonna find out. I would suggest reading the books if you can't wait.
Yeah. In the meantime, we have we have 6 or 8 months here.
We have plenty of other stuff. Like the Liu 4th, 5th, I don't remember, of the manga volume came out, so we're going to be covering that. There's also the next book 14. Of the main
probably
series.
book 14 and probably book 15 will probably come out when the 3rd season launches.
So we got some content going over, as well as the season.
And you know what we don't have? A new Overlord book, because that author hates everyone.
Yeah,
it's been a year and a half.
I will say that is disappointing, but hey, I'll never shy away from more Danmachi, because
that's true.
I will say in the OVA, this is kind of, we're gonna do minor prediction stuff probably, like just really, because we'll expound upon it later. But OVA, I'm really hoping that we get some more of the side stuff from book 8 that we didn't get in the show. I think that's like a must-have. I'd really like to see the wealth thing, in particular. I think Lily's another one in there, because just first impression right now of the season, like you can go back and watch just what I've thought, but right now, definitely some good, some bad. One thing though, I really wish they would have done towards the end of the season was kind of give some more development to Welf and Lily, so because they're, and even Mikado too. So I'm hoping we're going to see that in the OVA, because I don't know if we'll really have time in season 3. But I think the good thing about season 3, at least from my perspective, maybe not from your perspective. Oh, sorry, that's Star Wars.
That's a good one
there. But anyway, with season 3, the one thing that I'm really excited for is that because of the content that the source material, they have 3 books of basically one arc. So there's a chance that everything that we disliked or maybe didn't like initially about this season is not even going to be present in the next season. That doesn't mean anything. But I think, just because they don't have
they're telling one story.
Yeah, they're telling one story. They're going to be able to have it fit nice, probably not have it shrunk down as much. So I'm really excited for that. Going forward. I don't know about you. What any slight
I don't
things?
want to make this video like 30 minutes long. So.
It's not. You just do 2 minutes. You got a timer there in front of you.
No, it's fine. All right, so I'm excited for season 3. We'll probably do some more speculation or something like that. We'll talk about it and whatever.
More spoilers.
Season 2 is. We'll probably also do a full season 2 review. So stay tuned for that. More Danmachi stuff. I don't know if we're gonna do Ari Ferretta stuff ever again. Well, the
probably
books,
will go back
show,
for the show,
maybe.
but
I don't know. Look for that in sometime, and then we have some movie reviews. We have some other things coming out here pretty soon.
There's a lot of book stuff. If you guys are,
and we're excited for Joker. Maybe we can do a review for that movie.
Yeah, because that comes out really soon. I'm hoping we can get that on time, because we're already behind on everything. But there's stuff coming. It's just been
by the time you watch this, we're 60 years old. But anyway. Thanks for watching, and we're excited for Danmachi. We're excited for the future. We know this is a core of our channel, and we'll have some more book reviews out, so don't worry about that, and we'll see you guys
We know it's
next
sad
time.
Because it's done, but we're not done.
With Danmachi.
So,
or with
come
you.
back.
Or with you too.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks very much, and we'll see you guys next time with something else, or maybe some more Danmachi. We'll see. Later.
Peace.